Ava, talking of which, campaigns that have gone up in smoke, Ron DeSanctimonious, as Donald Trump used to call him, he's now retired the nickname after DeSantis pulled out the American presidential race. I thought DeSantis was going to be the guy.
Well,
I thought he was picturing himself as the sort of Trump without the baggage. It turns out none of these Republicans can stop the Trump train. He is running them all over.
I think a lot of his donors expected that he would have at least, slightly competed with him. Can you imagine if you're one of the people who sank millions into this man?
What maybe the problem
turns out?
I think his team more than anything else. This is actually what they made him say in his resignation video.
Winston Churchill once remarked that success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
Just one problem. Churchill never said it.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a bit like that quote from Einstein about
deficit.
He never said that either. I mean, these things do gather their own momentum.
Churchill would have said, stay there. He was like, we will not flag and fail. He was like, I'm in the pub till the pub closes.
Churchill had a really brutal...
But here's a question. Here's a question for you lefties over here. I used to be, but I'm now right-wing because I don't like the woke stuff, right? And that's now... You're seeing a real movement in America, Bill Maher and other people like that, who don't identify really to the left anymore because it's moved so far. We're now seen to be conservatives.
You'll come back. You'll come back.
But Kevin, I don't see any way Trump doesn't get the nomination now, which is an amazing comeback, whatever you think. It's incredible. But also, I don't really see any way a doddery, apparently half-dead Joe Biden beats him and stops him getting back in the White House.
No, but of course, Trump himself was pretty doddery. He confused Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi.
Come off it.
I know.
No.
He's no Biden.
But I agree. At the moment, if I'd put my 20p, my 10 cents on a Trump presidency, which I do not
because
look
he's
forward
alive.
to.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big question is for British Conservatives who align themselves with that side of politics. This is going to be a really trying time for them because they're now going to have to think about their foreign policy, particularly how we're going to fund Ukraine in the coming weeks or coming months. If Trump is to get into the White House, that money is not going to Ukraine anymore.
But you know what, Esther? I watched the head of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, very interesting last week.
Yeah.
He gave an interview to Fox, I think it was. And he said the thing about Trump is his supporters, they're not all these whack jobs that they're being painted all the time. They actually think he did a pretty good job on the economy. He was tough on immigration. The southern border's out of control. They thought his foreign policy was pretty sound. He didn't go to war anywhere. They actually put the rhetoric to one side and like what he did.
This thing, and he made a very good point. You cannot demonize 70 million Americans. There is a reason why they're choosing him over the walking corpse that is Joe Biden. You have to give credit where credit is due.
Quick question: who's going to win the U.S. election?
I reckon Trump.
Trump.
Trump at the moment, but
He did set up a war. You're wrong there, Trump. But he did set up a war.
Trade war.
Start one.
He planned the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Who's going to win the election?
Trump's going to win the election.
Trump. Unbelievable. The comeback of the century.